Hey guys, here we are. Going to do another shave, and here's my gear. All of it basically new-ish to me. I have had this brush just for a couple of days. I have had this razor just for a couple of weeks. And I've had this soap just for a week or so. Padre Leone from Holy Cow is the soap, and this is the tallow base. Love the scent on this one. Thick and just well developed and just all over the place. The Gillette Silver Blue is fairly young. 9 shaves on it prior to tonight. This is a Thayers brush. 4376 maybe that's the code for this one, I believe. And you can see it in the description just to make sure. It'll probably be in the title as well. But clear acrylic is the handle material, and as you can see, it's mostly kind of a squarish shape. That'll be a first for me. It's the Silvertip, the 3-band, and as you can see, it definitely has kind of some flop to it. It's not springy like a Finest Badger is. I'm going to get that back in the water. And then the razor is the Wolfman. This is the WR1, and it is the 46 gap. I have a 54 gap that I shaved with recently. I shaved with the same blade, a Platinum Persona, as I did this razor 5 or 6 days ago, and they felt kind of similar. Now, with my other WR1, with the 54, I got a great shave with this Gillette Silver Blue blade. Really smooth, and so that's why we're using that blade today, because I'm going to put it in this guy, a lower gap, a milder gap than the 54, and we'll just see if there is a change in the feel. If it's just as smooth, we'll just see what's going on today. All right, everything's ready. I do have a plastic tub of water in the sink so I can easily and quickly clean my razor and hands without having to turn on the loud faucet. All right, this brush did get a bit of a treatment with some Irish Spring bar soap because I just got it in. I wanted to clean it up first. And Williams is a great soap for doing that. It'll pretty much destroy any oils and things like that that could be on the brush. Really good at doing that. Williams is an excellent, and I get this from another soap maker. Williams is an excellent brush cleaning soap. But I do have some Williams. I need to put some here in the closet so that it's always available for that very purpose. All right, well, let me get my face wet and we'll get started. Here's the Gillette Silver Blue. I'll show you the blades when I think about it, just because I'm afraid, holding it close to the camera doesn't really help it with the focusing and stuff. Because in recent years, we've seen some blade manufacturers switch to laser etching instead of ink printing like this. So someday maybe this will be able to kind of date this blade, at least put it in a certain range. All right, so we've got the top cap, we've put the blade on it. Here's the base plate. And this is an older Wolfman. This was made before the last couple of years, where he has added more options for the finish. This was his only finish way back when. I like this handle too. I like the look of it as well as the performance. The grip is really exactly right in this place, and I do like it when on the end here it gets a little larger, because during the pull stroke, particularly in this side of my face, it easy gives you something to hold on to. All right, blade is in, my face is wet, about 24 hours growth is what we're looking at. This wonderful soap. Lots going on, woodiness, like some leather, amber, I'm not sure, but so much good stuff. Padre Leone. All right, so what we'll do is we will load. Let's do a 30-second load. Shake most of the water out of the brush. Start when it hits 20. There we go. So like I said, the bristles on this brush have quite a bit of give. Definitely think there are people who think it's too floppy out there, and this one may actually be too floppy for me. We'll just have to see. And 3 more seconds. And there we go. All right, here we go. With this shorter brush, these Thayers are kind of known to be on the shorter side. And then with this one having so much give to it, my fingers are going to get messy for sure as we create this lather. I think I like this square design. My middle finger and thumb are very comfortable sitting on opposite sides of each other. Holy cow, it's a wonderful soap. Very slick, nice lather. I believe, though, it is one that often requires more soap to be involved than a lot of other soaps. So we'll just see how it goes today. So we've got 2 teaspoons in the lather already. Now we have 3. Curious if this little valley right here, this cutout, obviously it can help you to grip and hold on to, keep the thing from sliding out of your hands, but does it then become uncomfortable with all these corners? Looks nice though. Definitely need a big bowl with this brush since a lot more of my fingers are inside the bowl than usual. It's kind of a pain actually. This is slick and it's too watery. And I kind of planned it that way because I wanted to add as much water as I did because I figured I'd probably have to go back to this soap and get some more. So let's do that. Let's do another 20 seconds. Just to make sure we pick up enough. Sometimes these really soft brushes need some extra time in the soap. Clean off the tub. So now when we bring this brush with more soap in it to a bowl that has a little bit too much water in it, things should start to equalize. This definitely appears to be a brush for face lathering due to that short, difficult to hold on to handle. But I can't resist trying out a Silvertip 3-band brush from a reputable brush vendor. But now I know, right? At least I know about this handle, and I believe I know this knot is probably a little too floppy for me. I do have another 3-band Thayer that I actually forgot about when I was buying this brush. But it's a shedder, and so if I liked this knot, then this would have been the one I would keep, you know. And I got the other one really cheap because it was told to me that it was a shedder. Don't soak your brushes in hot water. It can loosen them up. Make sure you clean the soap out of the brushes, because that can cause bristles to break when mold and mildew and soap and all that stuff works on the interior of your knot to break those bristles. All right, I think we're good. Why don't we go ahead and kind of feel it? Oh yeah, that feels nice. There we go. That's the lather I wanted. See, sometimes you start with the soap and you slowly add water until it gets where you want. Well, today I kind of started with the water a little bit since I thought that the soap might be a little lacking. I knew I'd have to go back in and get more. All right. Rinse my face one more time. All right. Well, what the brush lacks in comfort while holding it, and what it lacks in the ability to hold it and work it in a bowl, it is now going to return to me in softness on my face. And actually, look, the lather's kind of starting to die a little bit, a little too wet maybe. That's okay. You know what you do then? You can go back and get more soap if you want, some more lather. However, if you have too much water on your face, what does it need? It needs a little soap. So sometimes just a few seconds of swirls can change that wet face into one with a nice creamy lather. And that's what we're getting. Look how it keeps its shape to however you left it. Well, I do like the softness here. Nice slick lather. And now the razor. So this blade was very smooth on the 54. And it's working very nicely on this 46. But to tell you the truth, I don't think the 46 is more mild. I'm feeling the blade, but it's very comfortable, very controlled. I don't feel that I am in any danger of nicking myself or anything like that. It's almost a pleasurable edge feeling, you know, where you feel like I'm shaving. Where it's not like a Fetipe Gentile or something where you almost don't feel the blade. Yeah, very nice first pass. Comfortable, a little bit of blade feel. All right, so for the next pass, let's just kind of start over with the lather that we have in the bowl. And you know what could have happened on that first pass? My goatee is starting to get long enough to where it retains water. And I've got to get back in the habit of just kind of getting that water out of there because it can flush out. And maybe that's what happened. It can flush out the lather. Well, I forgot to pause you while I walked away. I'm glad I noticed that because I was about to pause you now and then we would have had you watch all my rinses. So nice, comfortable shave. Hit my tricky spot twice. And rinse. Now this lather is just a bit too wet. And so that second time I could have got a nice lather, a better lather, by going back to the tub for another 2 seconds of loading just to add a little concentrate to the mix, but it wasn't necessary. I got an excellent glide with it, and still when rinsing I felt wonderful luxury and slickness with this base. So it did look like a thin layer, but the thin layer was doing a great job. So this is kind of an intense type of scent, but at this concentration, I'm not getting a lot of strength to it. And so I think that works because I think it could kind of overpower you a little bit because there's a lot going on, heavy type of ingredients. And we did end up pretty much using up everything we had, even with the extra 20 seconds of loading. So what's that, 50 seconds of loading? And let's finish up the shave with a nice, comfortable third pass. And I do feel the edge just like before, but my skin doesn't feel tender. It feels nice and controlled. Now, I definitely feel that if I made a mistake and went in the wrong direction or some weird slice or something, too much pressure, I could definitely get a cut or irritation. But that's just what you get when you use razors that are kind of mid-aggressive. This is a nice sharp blade. Now, here's something notable right then. My hair grain comes down this way, comes across, and then as it gets to about right here, it starts to turn down a little bit and head toward this corner of my neck, approximately. And so, right in this area where my trouble spot is, next to my Adam's apple, the hair is kind of going diagonally. And so most of the time, pass number 1 and 2, I am doing a cross grain from here to here. Then on the third pass, I switch and I do a cross grain from here to here. Now, at the end of that stroke on the third pass, going from here up to here, I start to run into some hairs that are coming down from this way. And when I feel those, I stop and I turn my blade around, and we're good. But right when I start to feel those is a bit of a litmus test for me. And just now I was able to shave that area with that reverse cross grain direction. And it did it very comfortably instead of feeling like, ooh, you better be careful. And that speaks very well for this razor and blade combination in terms of cutting effectiveness, that sort of thing. Excellent quality shave today, really close right here. Sometimes when I feel that edginess, that not smooth, but a controlled blade feel. And when it's a good blade like the GSB or a Feather or Gillette Platinum or some of the Astra Platinum, Persona Platinums do well for me as well too, then I know that I'm going to end up with a nice clean cut right here. And that's what's happened tonight. So very cool. I definitely wouldn't mind having this scent in a balm. Very nice. And I'm enjoying it so much that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this unscented Thayers Witch Hazel, which is mostly an aloe solution, but it's got a little bit of witch hazel in it, and it's alcohol-free and unscented. I put it in a spray bottle so that I can just spray it in my hands instead of pouring it in my hands from the bottle when it'll just go right through my fingers, And there we go. Help my face out. And then once that scent subsides, I think the Padre Leone is going to come back and I'll be able to enjoy that. All right, time for me to clean up my gear. Well, getting this second 3-band brush, Silvertip, from Thayers has confirmed for me that the flop that I feel on the other brush is in fact indicative of the Thayers 3 bands. And so the other one that's a shedder, it's good to know that. And so I think I'm likely to move this one on to another somebody else. And but it's soft. It feels great on my face. It's just very comfortable, and so I know there's plenty of people out there who are going to enjoy that, and face lathers especially. And the handle is actually not bad until it gets soapy because it's slick, and so then you start having to do weird grips to try to keep a hold of it. But for a face latherer who wants a really soft, comfortable brush, this looks like a good one, a good choice for them if they like that. All right. So, looks like 3 teaspoons of water is what we used today. And 50, I probably went back and loaded for another 5 after, so I think we did 30, 20, and then 5. So 55-second load, and I still probably could have used a bit more, so maybe I'll make a note. But also, you know what? I may not make a specific note because this is just a really soft brush. And I'll wait, try again with a different brush, and probably get a whole different number. So there we go. That's the stats for this one. And I think that tells us something when it's a really soft, kind of floppy Silvertip type brush. It's just not going to pick up soap quite as fast as something more in the mid-range backbone department, that sort of thing. This, of course, especially something stiff. So now what I can try is this same Gillette Silver Blue in my 54 gap Wolfman tomorrow. Compare the feels. I wasn't really smelling the Padre Leone anymore as I'm putting my gear away, so I did go ahead and put on some Sharp Dressed Man Balm from Stirling. Not really a scent that pairs very much at all with the Padre Leone, but it's one I'm trying to use up, and I enjoy the scent. Definitely no clashing, since after all, the Padre Leone was kind of fading out anyway. Well, that was a pretty comfy shave and very close, so happy in that regard. No tenderness, no irritation, nothing at all. So there we go. That's tremendous. So I'm curious so I've tried 2 different blades, and the 54 and the 46 gap really seemed identical, very close to identical, hard to distinguish. I might try more blades now. Now that I'm trying this GSB, it's been too long ago since I tried the 54 with the GSB, so maybe tomorrow I'll use the 54 with it, be able to have again back-to-back comparisons, and so we'll see how that goes. But I might be really curious because if after all I try a bunch of blades in it and it's identical, then I just need to sell one of them, pass one of them along, and then it'd be interesting to figure out which one, because it may be worth it to find one blade that gives me a slight difference, and then I could say, well, which difference do I like, you know? So who knows? That could be an ongoing test, ongoing research there. But I have not had a gap, even with the Gillette adjustables, even with the different carve gaps. I've always been able to tell the difference. So this one's a little interesting. It must be getting down there where the geometry is just so similar. You know, when you've got more exposure, then a small change is going to be noticeable. But when you get smaller, I think it could be less noticeable, would be my guess. All right, well, really good shave. Happy with it. Smelling good. That Padre Leone was great. It wasn't strong during the shave, maybe 4 out of 10. Something like that, but very nice, very nice. And there we go. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I sure hope that you have gotten something from this video. Take care. Good night.